we want to call in our presence the Almighty God by praying in our own ways. Let's pray, please. Thank you. We are starting this award program for a colleague, which is called the GFCA Achievement Award. This is the second time the Gambia Football Coaches Association is doing such an award. The first time was in 2018, and that was for Tafamane when he went to the Liberian League undefeated, winning the league, winning the FA Cup, and did not lose again. That was the first time we gave this award, and this time we are giving it to Mr. Moch. But before I go into the details, I want to call the president of the Gambia Football Coaches Association, Mr. Paswa Fai, to give a welcoming remark. Mr. Fai, please.
Mike. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, President and Executive Members of the Gambia Football Federation, the General Secretary and staff of the GFF, Executive Members and coaches of the Gambia Football Coaches Association, Coach Matarr family and technical staffs, media houses, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have the pleasure on behalf of the Gambia Football Coaches Association to welcome you all to this important occasion in history of coaching in the Gambia. Today's event is part of our new drive in recognizing the performance of our coaches locally, nationally, internationally. Our celebrity is Coach Matarr of the Gambia Under 20 male national team. His assignment with the Under 20 has brought glory to our motherland and raised the level of achievement of our Gambian coaches under 4 years is unprecedented. In the year 2018, he won the trophy and became a gold medalist in the West African Football Union Zone A tournament in Liberia. In 2019, he was a bronze medalist in the West African Football Union WAFO, a tournament in Guinea. In 2020, he produced miracles after massively losing his opponent Mike against a bitter rival like Senegal and won the trophy against Senegal in the final, qualified to the AFON in Mauritania, and best coach of the tournament. He became a gold medalist in the West African Football Union Zone A tournament in Chess, Senegal. In 2021, Coach Matarr led the Under 20 to the AFON in Mauritania and equally led the 14 years record of the late Coach Peter Bonu Johnson, rest in peace, in Congo-Brazzaville by winning the bronze medal after beating heavyweight Tunisia in the 3rd place. He lost the semi-final to Ghana 1-0, a team he beat 2-1 in the group stages. Mr. Chairman, this made him to qualify for the World Cup Under 20 for the second time in 14 years. Distinguished guests, it's my profound gratitude and privilege to present you our celebrity today in the person of Coach Matarr for decoration by the Gambia Football Federation in collaboration with the Gambia Coaches Association. Thank you for coming and your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for those wonderful words and for also reminding us that 14 years ago, Coach Peter Bonnie Johnson did qualify the Gambia to the Under-20 World Cup. And may his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Now, from the President of the Coaches Association, we now have the President of the Gambia Football Federation, Mr. Lamin Kababajo, to give a statement. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, the Master of Ceremony, Secretary General of the Gambia Football Coaches Association, Mr. Cham, the President of Gambia Football Coaches Association, our friend, our elder brother, Alhaji Paswari Fai, and members of the Executive Committee of the Gambia Football Coaches Association, my colleagues from the Executive of the Gambia Football Federation, the Finance Director, Mr. Monsignor, among the staff here, and the staff of the Federation present here, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, Muse and Madam Matarr Mboj. You're welcome. After according all praises to Almighty Allah for making this happen, I want to first thank the Gambia Football Coaches Association for the laudable initiative. This, I have no doubts, is well thought of and will not only show gratitude to the achievements of Matarr, but also going to serve as a motivation for others to emulate. As we all have a copy of Matarr's brief profile in coaching, we could all attest to that. He has always been a winner. Working with Matarr in the past few years, there are two things that are very distinctive, if not three, in him. His high level of discipline, hard work, and professionalism. Sometimes I thought, and I confronted him on this, though jokingly sometimes. I know he's doing very well in coaching, but I could see a very good football administrator in him, because administratively he's equally very competent, if not more. His thing as a coach under the federation and the assistant, the support he rendered to the secretariat and also the technical department are invaluable. So the combination of such high qualities could not produce anything other than success and victory and success over and over. He's somebody we will all quarrel with. That's what we want. Let's quarrel with for him to really have his way to what he wants to achieve. That's what we should do. We don't give up. And at the end of the day, we have the same objective. We are all celebrating here because we all have played our role in one way or the other, even sometimes at certain personal sacrifices. From 2018 in Monrovia, I was privileged to be in that final, and our Leeds, beloved football legend, Raja Beriberi, accompanied me to that finals, and Matarr was able to wipe 29 years of tears from his eyes. Because he could remember exactly 29 years earlier, they lost to Liberia in the final in the Commonwealth tournament. When the then President Samuel Doe was at his peak, I think soldiers were even invading the pitch with Kalashnikovs to really scare them. So that was a very difficult. He said even at the end of the match, the referee had to tell them, he got a penalty, but he came to him and said, do you want me to blow that penalty and go home dead? He told me, yes, you understand. So, and then he had to go back to that same place in 29 years later to lift that trophy. I think really that's something really he deserved. And then in between so many friendly test matches here and there. And the subsequent competition from Guinea, it would have won the gold medal, but it came again with a bronze. And late last year, the tournament in Senegal chess, which was a highlight of everything, is what really moved every Gambian. Us coming back from Dakar with that trophy and snatching it from our bigger brothers, our neighbors. And the performance of the team in the recently concluded AFON under 20 in Mauritania also is incredible. Even though we did not win the final, the final, we didn't go to the finals, but everybody, even our own opponents, believe and really know that our team was a formidable one. And then defeating Tunisia in the third place and coming home with a bronze medal, I think it's a deserved win for the team. Off the pitch, and the technical aspect of what Coach Matarr and his team of able assistants, the two assistant coaches in the persons of Oriba and also and Ayaya Mane, who's the fitness coach, and also our own brother, another legend, George Lover, really, and the backroom staff, really, I was with them on several days in Mauritania. And then really, everybody will talk about the Gambian team. When we are playing, every opponent really respects us. And the boys played, they expressed their individual talents, but also they perform very well as a team. And Matarr, as I said, will always want to get the best. And if you want to get the best, you give the best, and he has never been given his best at the Football Federation. So really, we are very much appreciative of this gesture. We are complimenting the efforts of the Gambia Football Federation. And I think, as I said, it will also serve as a motivation and encouragement to others, and also for them to also understand that really their efforts are not being forgotten, they are being realized. So really, coming back to the Federation, myself and my colleagues, the second Vice President, who is also responsible for technical matters under whose purview Matarr would fall, will not also relent with this accountable committee, technical development committee, to give them all technical support and guidance and policy directives to ensure that the respective teams really do what they should do. And also the Secretariat for sure, the Director of Finance here. They are usually very unpopular people, and because they always need money, they want this, So, but at the end of the day, we come to a consensus and things are made to move. And the Finance Director has his boss here, the Vice Chairman of the Finance Committee, Mr. Kamanso is here, the Chairman Bakari is not around. But as I said, we all have the same objective. Matarr has accepted the job because he believed that he could do it. And he's doing it. We also hired Matarr, believing that he could do the job, and he's doing it. So I think we are all both winners. We only want to encourage him to keep up the job. I have no doubt. As we are celebrating today, I'm sure he's also feeling more challenged, because when we raise the bar to a certain level, we cannot afford to come down. And I'm sure he has been very consistent in his progress in terms of achievements, and then we have very high hopes. If we were not the cancellation of the World Cup by FIFA, which is very unfortunate, very unlucky, then we would have seen another brilliant performance of the team under this tutelage in Jakarta. But all said and that notwithstanding, we have many other challenges coming up. Here, our last day in Nouakchott also, were those members of the team that were graduating, because of by next any other tournament they will be above 20, were honorably also graduated or certificated and verbally there. And then the young ones who remain will be blended with much more. Here's another pool that's waiting to be blended with those people, and so there's going to be continuity. Faces will certainly change. Your life is a transition. Everybody, we always we keep them. No, yes, but we are constrained by age. They cannot be there forever. And the other thing is also we want them to move forward. If any of them could have, better opportunities outside to go and play, and that's going to be a plus for the Gambia. They're also going to be in the reserve for the senior national team. And as you are aware, the coach has even, the senior national team coach has even started identifying a few of them. So they are still within our radar. They cannot remain where they are, but at the same time, they are within their radar, because they are responsible to assist the coach in scouting. Once again, Mr. President and your colleagues, I really want to thank you very much for the tireless efforts, and also to really encourage you to continue doing it. The collaboration between Gambia Football Coaches Association and GFF is second to none. Sometimes people feel that we are biased towards, even in the house, they said, anything come from the coaches, the president, you sometimes give the executive order. I said, yes, because I have a bigger brother who is heading there, and they are doing very well. And they are very prolific in terms of their activities. I think there is no allied association that really is more prolific than them in terms of activities and programs that they are doing. And I think really that's very encouraging. They are doing the work. We are very much satisfied with the collaboration. And sometimes we, even at the GFF, we appreciate that thing. The most recent one is the CAF sea license cost, which really is more than a success. We did it under their supervision with our own local instructors, and then the candidates, the number of candidates who want to apply is too much. They couldn't even accommodate all of them because they are focused. And the training also is across the board. So really, we are very much grateful. And it's impacting on the players. It's impacting on our league. If you look at even the turnout, the attendance, that people, despite the concern that we have, that our traditional grounds are not available because of the construction going on, people have to trek, to very inconvenienced areas. But if you go to Basori now, you see the turnout, the spectators will be surprised. You come to the Technical Training Center, Usman Sao football field in Olyundum, with all the inconvenience it has the very limited seating capacity. Where it is available, it's not very comfortable, but you'll be surprised. We don't talk of the stadium. And I also watched the Women's League, Women's League match in all the way in Kitty. They are surprised. So I think because the spectators, the fans, are getting what they want from at least the players, then that's a product of the coaches. If the coaches are not doing their job properly, then the player will not be able to satisfy the coaches. So really, I think your activities are, somebody would say, cross-cutting in all aspects of football development. And if you look at the level of the turnout of our local players across the borders, turning professional at one stage or the other, is also really monumental, and it's because we are producing the qualities and the caliber of players that others want to get. So I wouldn't end this statement without really recognizing the efforts of the Football Coaches Association, and I can once again assure you of myself and my colleagues at the executive and the secretary's readiness to continue the collaboration, because you are the ones who are responsible for football development, and we are doing that very well. We give you all the support and encouragement. To Coach Matarr, once again, congratulations. You never let us down, and we have no doubt that we go to the highest level. And then finally, to my own daughter, Siso, who really, have no doubt, is taking good care of our son-in-law. When he was in Mauritania, he was, I'm sure they were singing notes every minute, and Matarr really was himself, and this is why he's able to do. As the adage goes, behind every great man, there's a great woman. So that is sailing, keep it up. Concentrate, football technician yourself like Matarr, and I think it's a good combination. I want to once again apologize for this very long statement, but I think it's the gathering deserve it. We have to recognize really all those who really have made this happen. And I also finally want to thank my brother, Honorable Mahmoud Sabali, for his presence. We know he's also a football fan and enthusiast, and then having him on this very important ceremony really shows his commitment to Gambian football. And then the media from all the respective media houses, the GTTV and then the QTV and all other media houses. And finally, our dearest brother, Habibi Fall. That's Gambian football. Habibi crowns Gambian football. Yes, Habibi he's the jewel. He crowns Gambian football. He's all the time very passionate, not only with Real de Banjul, but every aspect of football. He showcased coaches, referees, fans, administrators, and players. He doesn't stop at players, because I follow him very well on Facebook. And then he's trying to educate, popularize the game, and popularize those who are behind the players. I think it's very important. You can know the players, but you may not know the coaches. You may not know even the security. Sometimes put them on. People should know. So I don't really, Habibi, really thank you for the invaluable support and collaboration they are giving to football and football development. And our gratitude to your colleagues, Omar and Lion Barrow, and everybody in Gambia Football Fan. So thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the speech. And I also use this occasion before I call on the president. I want the presidents to do the presentation to Matarr to say a very good thank you to Habib Fall and their Gambia Football Fan TV with Haji Tungara, who are also assisting the Gambia Football Coaches Association in giving out the Coach of the Month. Haji is sponsoring the cash prize, and they are also helping in the logistics. So I also want to put this here. They are doing a great job, and we are also moving on. So on that note, I want to call on Mr. Paswari Fai, with the two presidents, Mr. Kawabajo and second Vice President, Mr. Ibu Fai, to do the presentation to Matarr. Then from there, we'll give Matarr the opportunity to deliver a vote of thanks before we close. Mr. Fai, please. Take this from the start. We have the medals that Matarr during his 4 years contract with the GFCA. I think he has just spelled it out. Every year he has to come up with one. So, talking into GFCA, he's been working with the other Banjul. I think since then, Real didn't get a trophy for the league, because it was the last trophy that he got. Have you found it? Yeah. Almost been taken care of by Matarr. And then, it was this night from the other band to GFCA for 4 years contract, didn't it? And these 4 years, I think it has been signified. And we have the starting here, who can just hang it on Matarr's. Wow.
my junior working under the Ministry of Business, but alhamdulillah, the prayers have been answered. Now, everybody is talking Sabali. This award has been given to Matarr as the best coach in Senegal after winning the trophy in Senegal. So, can you come and
congratulations to not just Matarr, but the Coaching Association and the GFF. And I'm deeply touched by this. And Papa is very sleeping. I'm tired today, but I have to come. I could not make it to First Division or Premier League, but I played football. It was the coaches in the communities. I just met some of the country. I wonder what they get out of it. They make us who we are. Because apart from being a professional in the game, it keeps you off the streets of bad behavior and doesn't pay them anything. So I want to personally say congratulations to Matarr and all those coaches all over the country and beyond who've been there for all of us. Congratulations on this.
Last but not least, we had a pick from the staff, staff, after the goal, so you can but the last but not the least, President, that's the Kemo. Can you just hand it over to the through the Gambia Football Federation, and without them, we cannot afford to have this kind of thing. Thank you very much for our needs and then
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for the presentation. Now, I'll call on Coach Matarr to give a vote of thanks before we call everything off. Mr. Mbodj, please.
I've spoken about the Gambia Football Coaches Association, as the president. But he has a double role also in Matarr. He's a team manager of the under-20 team. All these achievements were not without his presence and support, because we all know team manager is the ambassador of the team. Sorry to chess. And going to Mauritania also, nobody told me don't change the winning team. I took a natural decision, the team stay. And since the tournament also, it's complex because we need more hands and more heads. And certain positions, if you have certain people with certain positions, you can use that as a lever to really, because the quality for the delegation also matters. People think that they go, they want per diem. No, it's not really that. The second vice president, being part of that delegation in a tournament, speaks volumes. And it's not only a second vice president, but it's a CAF football general coordinator. Him there interacting with his colleagues there, interacting with referee assessors, my commissioners, also send signals. So this is why we have to take that added responsibility, send him to go and support Abu Karim and Mr. Fai to support the team. So it's not just that people travel for the sake of travel. They have, because in fact sometimes people tell us you people are too modest. When you are traveling, you have a very skeletal because we have to go with the force that we have. Those who can interact with their colleagues at another level, because we are in Africa. So I think these three gentlemen, in the person of the two fights and Mr. Siriali, played a big role, and they also took a lot of responsibility and really took charge of so many other things in the camp that we can reach to the defenders, because it's not easy. So really, I think that escaped me, but I think I want that to be on the record. Papa is not only here as the president, only as well, he's the team manager, and he's been the team manager for all these years. And all these medals Matarr has, he's been part of the success. Likewise, Mr. C and Mr. Fai also, who's also the chairman of the Technical Development Committee of the Gambia Football Federation, under whose committee's purview, the youth categories of football and national team fall under. So I think we need it for the So, gentlemen, congratulations. Yeah.
GFF President Namin Kababajo, GFF Second Vice President Mr. Ibufai, GFF Exco Member Sadibu Kamasu, President of the Gambia Football Coaches Association Mr. Paswar AFI, Head of Delegation Executive Member Mr. Abdul Karim C, Finance Director Mr. Kemo Sise, First Vice of the Gambia Football Coaches Association Fodeba, my staff, media, Secretary General of the Gambia Football Coaches Association, Admin Department of GFF, my dear wife, and all other protocols observed. Excuse me, Mr. Sabali as well. Thank you so much. I think for the first time in a very long time, I'm actually speechless. Sometimes you sort of have an idea of what to expect and you picture it in your mind, but this today is truly beyond my expectations. I can only say thank you to the Almighty, but also I have to thank everyone who is here today, and also by extension everyone who couldn't make it. If you see all these medals behind on my neck and all these different trophies and successes, it's not just me. It's not possible for one person to achieve this. It's the result of teamwork, hard work, and support. I have to start with the GFF because they could have chosen not to hire me. I went for an interview. They made the decision to bring me on board. And then as well as that, as the president has already said, provided all the tools necessary. There'll be quarrels here and there. It's normal. It just shows that everybody wants to win. It happens in the biggest teams in the world, even the World Cup winners, France. It happens. Even the likes of Liverpool, Real Madrid, wherever you name it, it happens. Chelsea, we all see Chelsea fighters there. How many times every year you're changing your coaches because there's squabbles going on in the boardroom. But it shows that I'm a very proud Gambian, and people will not maybe know the story that I made the decision 7 years ago in 2014. I had a very cushy, comfortable job in the UK. Everybody knows the UK, some of the most fantastic facilities. I had the privilege to go to the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, to watch the England national team train. I would go and watch Liverpool play whenever I could. It was a very comfortable life, maybe, if you analyzed it. But there was barriers. There were barriers in terms of progression and in terms of how we are treated across there. I don't want to go into too many details. If you just look at the story, how many black coaches will you see in the Premier League? You can count them on one hand in terms of the coaches you have in the whole of England. You have all these different, the Black Lives Matter movement, everything that's going on in the US. You can feel it. So why go through all those barriers, have to try to be twice as good as everyone else? I made the decision to come back home and help my country, help my own people. Yeah. I think so far so good, and I can only thank the Federation, and I can thank Gambians everywhere for vindicating that difficult decision, because I came and the opportunities were there. And I think it's also a very good example to show others in the diaspora who maybe are also thinking about potentially coming back home and making a contribution to society. It is there for you. We as Africans, we as Gambians, we have to be proud of our country. We have to be proud of where we are from. And yes, we can go away, get the education, get the background, get the degrees, which I have done, get the qualifications, which I have done. But honestly, it's been such an honor, such a privilege to work for this national team. And I think that there's a message there, and I think all of us, we need to really consider that. It's not all about the gold streets in Europe or wherever you want to say in the world. Let's try and see what we can do for our own country, not what your country should do for you. What can you do for your country? There's a famous president who came up with that quote. That's not my quote. But just to conclude, I really have to thank the players. And then, because I don't kick any ball, I don't head any ball, I don't run 1 meter on the pitch. It's those boys who have had the privilege to, I can say we've had 3 outstanding different teams, and all of them have been quality. You can debate as to who is the best one. I will not. I don't want to answer that question, but it just shows you that, in the youngsters that we have, the youth that we have here, if they're given that environment, if they're given that platform, that chance to shine, honestly, they will grab it with both hands. I'm very proud that in the tournaments that we've had, out of 15 matches, I was calculating it the other day, out of 15 matches we played, 10 of them, a Gambian was the man of the match. Yep. So you're coming against the likes of Senegal, Morocco, Guinea, Mali, countries, Ghana, countries who with a huge footballing passion, footballing pedigree, bigger than ours, but we are going on the same field and we are walking off the pitch as the best amongst them. We've had the best goalkeeper, we've had the best player in the tournament, we've had players in the best 11. These are things that the players, they're sacrificing themselves to achieve these. And as a coach, I don't want to sit here and take everything. It's not possible. There's a staff behind me, and I really have to thank them, because really and truly, you guys have been the best. It's been an honor to work with you guys, and we've had a big adventure. We've had fun, and this is also your reward, because some of them, they also have the amount of medals that they have here as well. So it's not for nothing, huh? And finally, and I really do have to thank the GFF, and it's under the president. People want to know a secret from me. When I think about sacrificing and bringing medals and bringing trophies, there's a group of people who I think about, yes, the executive, yes, my family, but I think about this man here. Because the GFF president, he really takes everything on his shoulders. And I know as a leader, it's not easy, because everybody wants to blame you if it goes wrong. If it goes right, you are just part of the reason. You are never the reason. But if it goes wrong, you are the sole reason why it goes wrong. It's the life of coaches. When you lose, you are the one responsible. It's only you. Coach la. Before the game, before the die, Why if it's a win? No, he plays, he trying and it's normal. So I can share this. I can sympathize with the responsibility and the load that's on this man's shoulders. So at least I can say that I was able to bring something for him, and I was able to say at least during his time that the U20 managed to achieve. And inshallah, the greatest achievement in Gambian football history is around the corner. Yes, and it's going to be under this man as well. So thank you so much as well. Forgive me, Gambia Football Coaches Association, because this is the initiative from them. And honestly, when I was there, when Tafa won the first prize, and never did I imagine that I would be sitting as the second recipient. It's a true honor, and a message to the coaches as well, in the coaching fraternity and my colleagues. Really and truly, if you work hard, the rewards are there for you. Thank you so much again. And finally, to my dear wife, honestly, the president has said everything, because behind every man's success, there is a woman behind him, driving him, inspiring him. She's on the coaching team, but on non-contract basis, you know. So it adds value because she's also a former player. She's played in the World Cup, so it's really football is football in our house. Somebody asked me whether our child will play football, and I said maybe you're talking to the wrong family to ask that question. Yeah, so football is in our blood. It's in her blood. It's in my blood. And we're just very thankful that we've had the opportunity and I've been able to share all the highs and all the lows with her as well. So I can only thank her for everything she's contributed to my family, to my mother, to my late father as well for putting all his resources in getting my education. And I can only thank them as well. My brothers, my sisters. It's as I repeat, it's not one person. It's not possible. And finally, I just have to say, Alhamdulillah, thank you to the Almighty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great opportunity, so thank you too. But we have come to the tail end of the program. Now I'll give the second Vice President, Mr. Rufai, brief remarks before we pray and close the
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, the President, Executive Members, Coaches Association, GFF staffs, First Division coaches, Mr. Starks, Mr. Savani, and all the media. We want to thank Matarr for the achievement. He has shown that he is the best under-20 coach that the Gambia has ever produced. These achievements speak for itself. But we also want to thank the First Division, Second Division, Third Division, and Nawetan coaches who produce these players, who produce these top players for Matarr to select from, and all our coaches. They work day and night, with knowledge, without knowledge, to lead these players to where they are now today. So they deserve all the commendation as coaches, and we encourage them through the Coaches Association to be members of the Coaches Association, so that they will also meet the high level that we are celebrating today. We also want to thank the investors, the club owners, who invest their resources, their personal resources, without any returns, for coaches to work, to produce players for this country. We are an amateur football country, and it's very difficult to invest in football. The return is very minimal. Even the institutional teams, they struggle financially. So it's a difficult struggle. Football is a collective, and we can develop football without working collectively. We are an executive today, tomorrow we will go on. So our role is to build the structures. So to continue what has been started since 1952, so that others can come. I believe we are on the right path, and today shows that we are definitely on the right path. And after this weekend, we'll know definitely we are on the front foot. Because all our objective is to qualify, first time in the AFON. And we want, and we believe, that Matarr have the potential to be a national team coach. It's a work in progress, and we want all the other coaches to emulate what has been achieved today. So we want to thank you all, Matarr, and the coach wife. Thank you very much.
I wish to thank you all. Thank Mr. Sadiu Kamaso, the President, Mr. Mboch, Mrs. Mboch, and everybody who's present, Seju, Head Coach, Gambia Ports Authority, and the press, everybody who is present, Mr. Sabali. I want to thank all of you for gracing this occasion, which is historic, on the calendar of the Gambia Football Coaches Association, which we hope very soon we'll do it again, probably for another coach. Thank you very much. So we have prayers, and we just pray on our